Beware, lest you be cheated. Beware, lest you be overtaken. Beware, lest you be deceived. By philosophy. By empty deceit. According to the traditions of men. According to the basic principles of this world. Paul says that in his letter to the Colossians. And he's always warning the early believers in Hamashiach, wherever he travels, wherever he goes, whoever he writes his letters to. The early believers, think about it, in Romans, in Corinthians, in Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. He's always warning them to be vigilant. Against the subterfuge of the false prophets, of the false Yahushas, of the false gospel. Of the basic principles of this world in which everyone else at the time is living in, and even today. Today! Why does he have to warn the early believers? Because it is so easy to slip back into the basic principles of this world. What are the basic principles of this world? What are the fundamental traditions of men? If you tear it right down to the root, we are driven by hatred, jealousy, and envy. Actually, jealousy and envy, which leads to hatred. And the will of men to dominate and control their fellow men. To subjugate them, to conquer them, to yoke them to the will of others. For the spoils of others. So that others may gain at your expense. For the wealth and the power and the dominion of other men. That is the tradition, the fundamental traditions of other men. And how do they do it? What are the basic, how are the basic principles of this world, how do they unfold? When you look past the illusion, when you look past the mirage and the hallucination that is this world, what do you see? You see the hearts of men. You see the rage, you see the hatred, you see the jealousy, you see the envy, you see the covetousness, how we covet that which is not ours, how we long for the esteem and the glory of other men. How we hunger for what others have gained. And that which we desire to have on this earth. Material wealth, the accoutrements of the luxury lifestyle. We seek to store our treasure up in this world instead of wealth in the kingdom to come. Ever since we were cast out of paradise for our base curiosity, our hunger for more that was scratching just beneath the surface, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to the deception of the serpent, such that we would eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and know good and evil, in a desperate attempt to be like Yah. And that continues to today. What do we seek today? Man seeks to be like Yah, the most supreme, the supreme Elohim, he who breathes life, he who brings into existence. That is the fundamental nature of man, to conquer, to dominate, and to turn themselves into a god, a deity. We seek to do it through technology. We seek to do it through war. We seek to do it through narratives, manipulations. Throughout history, crushing dissent, crushing a lack of fealty, crushing all those that would go against a king or a figurehead. Bringing all under the control of a single mind, a single human mind. And so we sought violence. We sought the pell-mell nature of war to subjugate our fellow man, to dominate our fellow man, to conquer our fellow man, and to control our fellow man through violence, through strength. We seek to do that today. We seek to yoke our fellow man through manipulations, through deception, through false narratives, through propaganda. Just read Sun Tzu's The Art of War. You will find that all war is deceit. All war is deception. All war is trickery. Most wars are won not through sheer violence, not through sheer strength, not through who has more steel, but most wars are won by spies, which is why in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, spies are the most prized weapon of war, because most wars are won through treachery. Most wars are won through betrayal. Most wars are won by the ability to corrupt the most faithful servants of the side you war against. This was a tactic of the Romans. It's how they conquered many, many, many other civilizations, by bribing those that were inside, the trusted generals, the trusted inner circle of those that they sought to conquer, such that they would allow the Romans to get through the gates and the walls of the fortresses of the civilizations they looked to conquer. Favorite tactic of the Romans: treachery and betrayal. Spies! Again, there's the manipulation of the mind through propaganda, through false narratives. Through memes, mind viruses, myths that seek to lead you astray. the evil, the man-made evil of propaganda, the big lie. The bigger the lie, the more powerful it is. The bigger the lie, the more people will believe it. The bolder the lie, the more that man will buy into it. Again, tactics that have been used over and over and over again through the millennia to conquer our fellow man. And then there's the spiritual war that goes alongside all of this. The decadence and depravity, defilement and debasement of the human soul, of the human heart, of the human spirit. And that war is waged by men that are possessed by demons, possessed by evil spirits, possessed by the evildoers and corruptors and the rulers of darkness, the hosts of wickedness that seek to occupy the heavenly places. This is what is arraigned against you. It's why Paul warns even the believers, let alone the average man who has no belief, who lives their life according to the illusion of this world, according to the decadence and depravity of this world. He warns the believers to beware lest they be cheated through philosophy and the empty deceit according to the traditions of men and according to the basic principles of this world, not the principles of Hamashiach. Because the principles of Hamashiach, the Messiah, of Yahusha, the Most High, Yahusha, the Most High who saves, the Most High who delivers, the Most High who redeems. The Supreme Elohim is named, his name, who he told. He told Moses, this is my name that will live in remembrance forever. Yahuwah, the Tetragrammaton. Yahuwah. Yah, the most supreme Elohim, who brings into existence, who breathes life, who creates. And his only begotten Son, Yah manifested in the flesh, Yahusha. Yah, the Most High, the supreme Elohim, who saves, who redeems, who creates, who brings salvation. The meaning of the sacred name, the sacred names, Yahuwah and Yahusha. Yah manifested in the flesh. In the beginning there was the Word was with Yah, the Word was Yah, and the Word was made flesh. And Yahusha, Hamashiach, is the Word made flesh, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. The principles, the basic principles of Hamashiach do away with all methods of domination, control, subjugation, through manipulation, propaganda, through war, through violence, through decadence, depravity. It cuts away at all of the base traditions of man, born of jealousy and envy, born of coveting that which is not ours, born of hatred. And what are those basic principles that cut through all of this? Love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love your fellow man as you love yourself. That is truth. That is why he is the way, the truth, and the life. That is truth, such that in that you find life. You are no longer dead. You no longer have a hard heart. You no longer have a soul made of concrete, such that you commit such vile acts to subjugate your fellow man. He is the way, the only way to forgiveness, salvation, and redemption. The way, the truth, and the life. It is the only principle. These are the only principles. Love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, such that if you love Yahuwah with all your mind, soul, heart, and strength, then you will honor his commandments. If you love your fellow man as you love yourself, you will nurture yourself. You will strengthen yourself because we are the temple. We are the creation of Yah, created in his image. And so we respect his creation. We nurture his creation. We keep the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh because he lives within us. We keep it strong. And we live as an example for our fellow man, to lift our fellow man up, to encourage our fellow man, to build them higher, to motivate them, to inspire them, to lend a helping hand, to strengthen them when they are weak, to lift them up when they are low, to help heal them in any way we can when they are sick, and in so doing, to introduce them to the way, the truth, and the life, to introduce them, to guide them to Hamashiach, to preach the good news, so they know that there is no artifice in the word, that there is no manipulation in the word, that there is no way for our fellow man to use the word in its raw form to their advantage. That's why this message is so dangerous. That's why this message is so hated. That's why the world, those who call themselves the wise ones of this world, mock the word. They do everything they can to delegitimize the word. They do everything they can to undercut the word. Because in its raw form, in its truth, it renders them all asunder. It takes away all their power. It obliterates their manipulations and propaganda and narratives. It destroys Hashatan, Satan, Lucifer, and the demons of this world, and the corruptors and the evildoers, misleaders and deceivers. Destroys them, the Ruach HaKodesh, which Hamashiach fills you with. When you surrender to him, you're filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, such that it is wielded as a sword, crushing, dissolving, obliterating all of the rulers of darkness that seek to persuade and influence you off the path of righteousness, off the path of the way. Your heart can no longer be corrupted. When you wear the armor of Yah, when you have faith in Yah, you are saved. You're filled with Ruach HaKodesh. But beware lest even you be cheated and fall back into the ways of this world. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. Be careful not to become of this world once again. Because in doing so, you take off the armor of Yah. In doing so, you cannot wield the sword, which is the Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. You cannot wear the helmet of salvation if you fall back into being of this world and its manipulations and its lies and its deceit. You must stay in Hamashiach and live the simple basic principle of Yahusha, of salvation. Love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. Those that would seek to dominate you, those that would seek to control you, those that would seek to destroy you, use philosophy, use the narratives of men, use the traditions and the basic principles of this world to deceive you, to appeal to your most base desires, to corrupt your heart with decadence, depravity, defilement, to seduce you with the lust and temptations and indulgences of this world. To stoke your jealousy, to inspire your envy, such that they can pit brother against brother, such that they can divide and conquer and ultimately control. If they can't do it through crushing you with violence, they will do it by manipulating you with propaganda and false words. They will do it by appealing to your most base desires, corrupting your heart. They will do it by casting the rulers of darkness and the hosts of wickedness upon you and upon your soul, such that you are led astray, led into evil, led into decadence, led into depravity. There are many ways to lie, many ways to manipulate, many ways to negatively influence you, but only one truth that saves you. Only one truth that cannot fall. Only one truth that lives through the ages. Love Yahuwah with all your mind, soul, heart, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself, and you will never be corrupted. You will never be conquered. You will never be yoked to the will of evil men. But men are evil, men are clever, men are full of contrivance, and they even find ways to use the word to their own advantage. How do you know this? How do you uncover this? How do you detect this? It's really very simple. They layer the rules, regulations, and traditions of men on top of the simple message. This is why Yahusha broke all of it down to its most basic form, to its simplest, to the key, to the simple key that you can use to unlock your salvation and stay true and wear the armor of Yah and wield the sword of the Ruach HaKodesh that lives within you and wear the helmet of salvation by keeping it simple. The way man even perverts the word is to layer as Paul says, the traditions of men on top of it. So anytime you see rituals, ceremonies, practices, rules, regulations, and traditions layered on top of the word, such that you must follow that on top of what Yahusha gave us, then you know you are in for a manipulation. You are in for a ruse. You are in for trickery and deception and to be led down a path to your own destruction and once again yoked, chained, bound to the will of other men. They will conquer you in the demons, the rulers of darkness, the demons of this world, the hosts of wickedness that seek to occupy the heavenly places. They will use everything at their disposal to crush your will, to sway your heart, and to destroy your spirit. Everything. The beautiful thing is, although there are a multitude of lies and deceptions and ways to deceive, again, there is only one truth. And that's all you ever have to keep in mind to stay strong, so that you are not cheated by philosophy and empty deceit, according to the traditions of man and the basic principles of this world, which is artifice, subterfuge, hallucination, mirage, illusion. That's what this is. When we are saved, when we are filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, when He lives within us, this is all obvious. We see the zeros and the ones behind it all. And we know the truth, the way, and the life. And we wear the armor of Yah. We are now impervious, impenetrable to the slings and arrows and deceit, the empty deceit of the evil ones of this world. And so, worry not. You do not get fooled into thinking that this is complex, that this requires decades worth of study. Do not be led astray. This is simple. It's in your heart. You hear it crying out. It lives within you. It's in your DNA. It's in your genetic code. It lives within you. We stuff it down. We turn a blind eye to it. We turn a deaf ear to it. We don't want to know it because we want to revel in the decadence of this illusion, because it offers titillation, instant, cheap thrills, cheap highs. It allows us to distract ourselves from the violence, from the rage, from the hate, from the emptiness, from the seeming meaninglessness of this world. And this world is meaningless. This world, when I say seemingly meaningless, only in that we do not recognize this world for what it is. It is meaningless in all that it promises to reward you with, but is not meaningless in that it is a test. It is a challenge that we must guard ourselves, buttress ourselves, arm ourselves for, to overcome this challenge, to meet and defeat and exceed this test by navigating this illusion, not through rage and violence and hatred and manipulation and propaganda and deceit and deception. No! To rise to the challenge and overcome it through the truth, the way, and the life. Love Yahuwah with all your mind, soul, heart, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. And in doing so, you have risen to the occasion. You have shown yourself to be worthy. And you do not have to wait to know Yahushua HaMashiach, because you know him now, because he lives within you and you've asked to receive him. And the moment you ask, he delivers. The minute you knock on the door, he answers. The moment you seek, you find, and you're filled with the moment you surrender to Yahushua HaMashiach, you receive, everything is revealed to you. Everything. You see it all for what it truly is. And you receive all that you could ever ask for and more, such that your cup runneth over. And you are healed in all ways. All ways. Such that daily you seek to nourish this. Because you're alive for the first time in your life. And it's indescribable in its healing power and its healing energy, in his healing power, in his healing energy, in his healing love. And you want to nurture that. Just as you used to nurture the addictions of your past, this evil of your past, the sins of your past, the decadence of your past, as you nurtured that only to find yourself lost, depraved, empty, alone, heartbroken. Now you seek to nourish the word which is written on your heart, the living law, the grace, the salvation, the righteousness you feel in your heart. You want to nourish that again. Again, think about this. Love yourself as you love your fellow man. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. You have to nurture yourself so you can nurture your fellow man. You nurture yourself with the word, the way, the truth, and the life. And so daily, you're nourishing your soul. You're nourishing your heart with his word, with his life, with his parables, with his phrases, with his teachings every day. And you're on your knees in prayer and thanksgiving and prayer. Repenting for what you once were, because now you know the shame and guilt of it all. Asking for his forgiveness, and he delivers. He delivers in a multitude of ways. You are healed in all ways. And then thankful for what he has given you, because now you have more than you could ever imagine. You think you have so little, but you have more than you know in HaMashiach. You have so much that your cup runs over and you have to shout from the rooftops about it. And then finally in surrendering to him. Surrendering to him. Such that you are no longer bound to the manipulations of this world, because you've tried it your way. I've tried it my way. We try it our way over and over and over, and we just repeat the same broken cycles again and again and again, the same bad habits, the same evil ways, The same lost roads, we travel them over and over and over and over and over and over again. And we allow the charlatans of this world, the corruptors and the evildoers with their false narratives, the misleaders and deceivers, with their new age religions and their philosophies and all of their bogus mantras. We allow them to once again, over and over and over again, lead us to a path where we're at the top of a mountain, the peak, only to find we're at the bottom of another. It never ends. You always wanting more, always seeking more, always seeking answers, because the answer, no matter what answer you're given, a new door is put in front of you, a new answer, always wondering, what is the meaning of it all? What is the meaning of it all? Every time you think you found the truth, it falls away. And once again, you see the lies for what they are, and you continue to seek, never being fulfilled, never being gratified, never being satisfied, always wondering why. What is the sense of it all? What is the meaning of it all? What is the purpose of it all? What is my purpose? No matter what you get in this life, this is where you end up. But in Hamashiach, in surrendering to Him and asking Him to guide you, Him to lead, Him to show you how to live your life in a manner that pleases Him most. Therein lies the answer. Therein lies the way, the truth, and life. Therein lies salvation, forgiveness, and redemption. Therein lies fulfillment, true satisfaction, true peace, true solace, unlike anything you've ever known. And as dead as your heart was, is as alive as your heart is now, filled with Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, such that it is bursting forth from you. So beware, lest you be cheated, swayed, persuaded, and influenced by the philosophies and empty deceit of men, according to the traditions of man, according to the empty deceit and wickedness and basic principles of this world, this illusion, this mirage, this hallucination. Walk in truth. Walk in the way. Walk in the life. And wear the armor of Yah. The armor of Yah is faith in the Supreme Elohim, such that none of this can touch you. None of this can penetrate you. None of this can pierce His shield. You feel stronger than ever, more empowered than you've ever been, more alive than you could ever imagine. And you could see it all finally for what it is. And you can look past this false reality to the truth, to the kingdom to come. His new earth, Yahushua HaMashiach's new universe, His new world, where there is no more devil, Satan, Lucifer, demons, where there is no more corruptors, evildoers, misleaders, or deceivers, no more haters, detractors, psychic vampires, negative influencers, no more deceit, deception, decadence, depravity, defilement, debasement, no more despair or depression, no more diversions, distractions, no more war or misery, sadness or hatred, pain or suffering, murder or death, no more evil or sin, sadness or hatred. Only Yahushua HaMashiach. Everlasting peace, everlasting love, everlasting life, everlasting joy, everlasting healing, and where He lives among us once again. And where we can love Him, honor Him, worship, glorify, and praise Him with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength in a manner that pleases Him most, because we are once again perfect like the angels, as we were in Eden before we were deceived for the first time by the serpent. Never to be deceived again, as we are now on the path, marching tall and strong, ceaseless and relentless, We are now wearing the armor of Yah, wielding the sword of the Ruach HaKodesh, wearing the helmet of salvation, as we speed, move, and groove, unconquerable, undefeatable, unassailable, undeniable, unconquerable, to kingdom come.